All right.
It's not ours.
Are we?
Can you send this to me? Yeah, send this to me, will you? I'll forward that to me. James is ready.
Okay. All right. Let's go. Are we counting in or are we live? Good evening. Welcome to our May 6th budget meeting. Calling it to order at 6:35 p.m. with council members Gay, McKenzie, Arnold, and Karn present. Are there any additions to the agenda?
Yes, Madam Mayor, we want to add two agenda items. One, the Zup Park item that we discussed on Monday. We're going to add that to the agenda, and also one executive session item.
Okay. And alrighty. So is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Karn. And make sure you got your microphones on. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Karn. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous. So this time, Mr. Hicks, do you want to?
No, we're going to take it toward the end.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to do it after
All
the
right.
end of the budget.
Okay. So we are on to business licenses. And so questions. Good morning. Good evening, Ms. Walters. Thank you for being here. We'll start on page 1 of the budget worksheet report for business license. Councilmember, microphone, please. Thank you.
Okay, the chief building official is under business licenses and not under inspections.
That person plays the role.
Right, for all
Sorry.
departments.
That person plays the role for everybody, all those departments.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Line 51, 50, 10, I noticed that we have an increase for 2026, 7 rather, with salaries. Are we bringing someone else in, or is it part-time, or we're just going to increase the, I just don't know.
No, we only have two positions, two salaries.
Okay, that's 2
coming up.
positions. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, then that's, yeah, okay.
You got 3 positions here, but that's not counting the third one?
Well, the CBO is not
The
counted.
chief building
The chief doesn't come out of that budget.
Okay, got it.
So is that a part-time and a full-time? Okay, just want to make sure, because
Yes.
otherwise that'd be too low. Okay.
Additional questions on page 1? Moving on to page 2. Questions on the transaction report, either page. Moving on to the supporting documentation, any questions? All right, we'll move on to inspections. Questions on page 1?
Okay, so how many people you got in this one?
5, is it? We have 2 open, and we have 3 that's on staff right now, full-time.
Okay, so which of these 3 are, I know the chief building official is open, what are the other 2?
No, we have one other position that's open, and that's the building inspector's position.
Okay, I thought you said we had,
I said we have 3 that's here,
This here.
present, yes. We have 3
and 2 that are vacant.
that are open, yes.
I know chief building official is open, but what's
The building inspector.
the building inspector? Okay, got it, okay. All right.
Questions on page 2? Or 3, because that's just totals.
So this lower amount here at the 5010 on page 1, this lower amount here is going to cover everybody even with the 2 positions filled?
That's
It's
what we,
the 397. It looks like 2025, it was about 450.
well, that salary kind of changed or went down for that position, so, I mean,
Okay, did?
that would
Okay.
have to,
Okay, so
for the
that-
chief anyway,
So that's why it's lower.
yeah.
So 397 are covered even with the 2 positions added. I just want to make sure.
Well, yeah, I'm trying
Yes.
to make sure on that
Okay.
point too, so yes.
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
yes.
Okay, all right, got it.
Any other questions on page 2 or 3?
So you got line 52, 60 demolition. You got 100,000 in there. You think we might have that much stuff? Or?
Well, it was in last year's budget. And unfortunately, I didn't get to use that money from last year either. We had to move that over to contractual services to cover Nova and the ambassadors. So, I mean, I may have to do the same thing with contractual services for Nova. It just depends on how long we keep them as a third party.
Well, we get staff. We don't need Nova, right?
Yeah, but we need Nova right now, though.
I'm saying until once we get staff.
Correct.
Right.
And I know you had a demo in your neck of the woods.
Right.
But that was okay. All right.
Additional questions on the transaction report, moving to page 2. Page 3. Questions on the org chart and supporting documentation? All right, thank you so much.
Thank you, Sabrina.
All righty. See how I warmed them up? See how you, see? Don't y'all should thank me. I warmed them up for y'all.
Yeah.
Broke a record.
Yes, and also keep in mind that Sabrina represents 3 different units. Inspection, code enforcement, and business license.
You know, that's my next question.
Yeah, so thank you, Sabrina.
You're welcome. Absolutely, no problem.
All right, Michael.
Have a good evening.
Hey.
Yeah,
All right.
I got convention center next. Special tax district. I see it. Got it. Okay.
Any questions on the GICC special district tax?
So Phil, I know we supposedly have a couple other hotels coming in on that campus. So if we could ever get the ball moving on those, we can get them on the tax rolls. Hopefully it'll be this year. But,
Yeah, we would just have to decide whether we put the hotels in the hotel special district or in the convention center special district. They both get 20 mil, so it would be either one.
but they can't be both. Obviously.
Correct.
You can't double tax them, but they're both 20. So, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Well, where are the rest of them? Are they all in one? All the other 5?
95%, 98% are in the hotel district, Fund 275 hospitality. I think we may have one in the GICC special district.
It sounds like it makes sense to keep most of them in one place. Okay.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
On the special district tax, I have a company in my ward on Riverdale Road. It's Chevron and the Jamestown Plaza. They impacted by this tax, but they claim it's not a benefit because they can't measure any benefits. They just think they got drawn into it. I would assume whatever they pay is built into your revenue of this revenue number. Because I have been
Correct.
thinking about conversation about saying that we need to take them out or find a.
You'd have to redefine the district. There's a defined GICC district, all commercial businesses.
They say they're in a special district. They pay special districts.
Correct. So they pay a regular fund and then they pay the GICC.
Right.
But there's a defined district that is a GIC district and that property address falls within that district. That's why they're getting that secondary special district tax bill.
I know where it's coming from. The question is, I'm assuming it's factored into this revenue number.
Yes.
because I'm thinking about having a conversation about taking them out. I don't think it's that large of a number, but they're complaining all the time. So we need to figure out, city manager, how we can find out if they're benefiting. You know, it just got kind of, I wasn't around when that happened, but they
Chevron on.
and Jamestown Plaza, Mark Collins and Hawthorne.
Any other questions on the special district tax?
Phil, we'll have a conversation about it.
Okay, moving on to the convention center. Questions on page 1.
Thanks, Phil.
All right. Like that, Jay?
All right, questions on page 1?
34, 5100. How are you using this increase to 7 million from 4,500,000? If I'm reading it correctly.
How am I?
What,
The increase.
how are you explaining this increase from 4.5 million to 7 million?
For next year,
Yeah,
because we lost 3 conferences. And now we're gonna get GS3 back, we're gonna get Microsoft back, and Delta Q3 back, which we lost this year. And we also gonna get Chick-fil-A,
okay.
so that's gonna make up what we lost
But
this
in
year.
2025, you were at 5 million. So you had those conferences in that year.
No,
Oh, shit. Okay.
When was the last time we had those conferences?
24.
And is there any way of knowing what that's one more back from what we can see on our page, but what were our sales like then? Were they at that 7 million
Yes.
number? Okay.
Okay.
So do we have a new one coming in as well, right? About this.
Yeah, we got several new ones coming
Okay, well-
in. So we picked up actually 3 Microsoft groups this year. So
These are new.
these are new groups.
Okay. Who do we swipe those from?
I won't tell about the
Doesn't matter.
competition. It shouldn't matter, but we got them.
We're glad to get it.
We're glad to have them.
Okay, well, that's good. That's what we want. Okay. Right.
I have another question.
Sir.
Where will we find where you putting this revenue increase, where you using it at and being lazy, and the rest of this budget?
Where you
Where,
put
where you in, okay, to balance your budget, where you showing this increase? Where you putting it at as a revenue, but where you putting it at in expense?
It's going to be in pretty much labor. And the expenses are going to be in labor. But in the revenue, it's going to be in the food and beverage sales
Right.
and rental.
Honest you? Go ahead.
Well, of course, I've moved ahead just to see where some of those expenses look like they're going. It looks like a lot of it is going towards debt service.
Debt service, yes.
Any other questions on page 1?
Yeah, so your salaries are all in here. You got any vacancies?
We got plenty of vacancies, yes.
Okay,
But we're in the process of filling those.
okay, all right, well, that's good to know. I'm assuming your roof is in here and everything, in the parking lot and all that business, well, that's another fund, but, you got your repairs in here?
Yes, we got the repairs in there on the capital outlet.
When we get to that
Where is
item,
that?
Mayor, can we
Yeah.
revisit that?
Yeah, we're not
jumping
there
around.
yet.
Okay, I'll wait till we get to that page.
Any other questions on page 1? Moving to page 2. 515210. What was the position you were hoping to consider?
51, 52, 10.
Page 2.
Those positions was meeting express and communication manager.
Moving on to page 3.
I see you increased grounds here, 52, 5780,
What?
You're on
You
page.
page 2.
Okay.
Well, I guess that's a good thing because we're going to be doing some new landscaping in and around there. Hopefully he's here soon. But you know, we want it looking nicer than ever. So I guess this is going to cover it, huh?
Yes.
Okay, I saw one year. It looks like last year was a little more than that, but well, it was just about the same, I guess. All right.
So I have a question on that line item. You're going from $263,842 to $634,000.
What's that object called?
Which line
He's
item?
looking-
Whoa,
he's-
everybody.
I think he's looking at
He's
looking at repair and maintenance
Like 10
totals.
against 1.
Repair and maintenance totals.
I'm sorry, on grounds.
Grounds are total.
You were reading the total line.
Okay. Actual 2026 grounds is 263. Am I right on that?
That's the total repair and maintenance?
That's not landscaping. Grounds is not landscaping. I'm sorry. What is grounds?
52,
One
57,
below Browns.
Yes.
Browns is-
They're at 48,956.71 year to
Okay.
date.
Well, that's the same scenario. So you at 40, how much you spent in to date?
Year to date is 48, but it's a little bit more than that because we don't have
Okay.
March numbers in here.
Okay, so let's use
Got to
that.
finish out the rest of the year also.
So let's use that number. Let's even take it to 100,000. I guess what I'm asking is, it increases to 248. Am I right about that? I'm not reading that right?
You are reading that
Yeah,
correctly.
read it right.
You are reading that correctly. Yeah.
Okay, so my question is, what justifies that expense and where does that
That just
Where does that come from? What is that? Does that go back to my earlier question? Where do you pull that revenue from to make up for this almost $200,000?
Okay, when you're speaking of that, we have the irrigation in now. All the irrigation is gonna have to be repaired in order for you to actually start your landscaping in there. And so we're pretty much gonna have to pull that from what we get from sales.
Okay. 40, 51. Okay.
Mr. Hicks, did you want to add anything?
No, the police officer wanted me to acknowledge him, so he's here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so.
All right. Thank you.
Any other questions on,
So your roof is not on this page, it's still coming up.
yeah, we're coming up on that. Moving on to page 3.
Okay, is it here? Is it on 3?
No.
No.
Any questions on page 3? Moving on to page 4, I think you're looking for capital outlay. 54,700 it appears.
Whoa. 0 to 3.45 million. Let me put my mic on. On line item 7,700, 54,700. Actual is 0. You spent $0 to date on capital improvements. I'm reading this wrong, right?
No, you're reading it right, but no, we should have. far more than that.
7,700.
Oh, okay.
You have year-to-date zero, and you have 2027 budget is 3,425,000.
Wait a
That should be in it,
Wait.
which is
I
here.
see, you need, to give him,
No, no,
He's reading it right.
No, he's reading it right.
You're at the top over here.
Right here. I'll take a ruler.
I'm trying to keep up with him.
It's the roof and
Oh, you want
landscaping.
one too?
So my question is twofold. One, and it's just a question. It's not, no, you've not spent anything on capital improvements in 2026
No, we spent.
because you got zero.
Yeah.
So we haven't spent anything in the capital improvement fund, but we have spent on a vehicle, and we also spent on equipment. So a total of $502,807 has been spent in
And
capital
That's in what line?
outlay overall.
What line is capital outlay?
So if you look above the 7700, you have 7590 and 7640.
So it's 502,000.
So you have the 40,000 and the 462,089.07.
And the 462 was what? The dishwasher? What was that? That
Part
came
of the
before.
part of the dishwasher and part of getting the digital boards. So we didn't get it complete this year. So we got half this year and we got to complete it next year. And that's the same thing with the roof also. It's in this year's budget, but we didn't get it completed in time. We will not have it completed in time. So we're gonna have to kind of roll that over and get the roof done next year.
So with the roof, it's in line item
7,700.
7,700.
So that is going up to 3,425,000, correct?
That's what he
No, it's
requested.
the city manager recommendation is 3.275.
Yeah.
And of that, 3 million is the roof and $275,000 is landscaping.
And that comes from what, revenue? What that debt service come from? That revenue increase? Not other enterprise fund? What is that debt?
No, it's,
How do
we got hospitality.
No, I want Leonard to tell me where he paying for this from.
It's coming out of the hospitality.
Okay, so it's coming out of hospitality.
Yes.
Now, is this amount going to come out of the total amount of hospitality funds that you all receive?
Yes.
Because we just did a budget transfer about 2 months ago for about $3.5 million.
Yes. From
By the way, City Manager Cynthia, where is that budget transfer at in these numbers? The $3.5 million budget transfer. Where would we see that, Mayor? You would know that.
I think it's on page 1 of 4. It is line 39, 12, 28. Back.
No, I know. I just want to know. I'm just trying to get my bearings. The debt, the budget transfer we just made in the page, in the line item she just said, paid for capital improvements that is at zero, right? Or paid for the vehicle. What did that budget transfer pay? Bond debt?
No.
Well, one about 3 months ago.
Ms. Hammond is.
Yes,
is
Ms.
gonna-
Hammond.
TPD.
Councilmember, the bond principal is paid out of GICC. Out of the convention center. Okay, the transfers that you're looking for, they took place under TPD, which is Hospitality Fund 275.
Okay. So here's what I want to get clarity on. I just want to get some clarity for budgetary purposes. So help me out with this. The total approximate amount of revenue we get from hospitality fund, which everybody should know, including the public, is taxes on bed stays, alcohol, right?
Car rental.
Car rental, which is approximately annual. Just approximate revenue is about what?
Hold on. Let me be clear. On hospitality, it's just beds. In Heads and
Okay,
beds.
okay.
Okay, the alcohol is on the general fund, and then the car rental is a whole separate
That's
fund.
fine.
Yes.
So on the bed stays, we get approximately, what, I want to say 5 million. Am I wrong about that number?
Well, actually,
I'm low?
yeah, the total that we collect is roughly about 16 million.
Okay,
Now,
go ahead.
that number this year we reduced because our CVB has been telling us that there's been a reduction in the number of beds, heads and beds. So we took that into consideration when we did our projection for fiscal year 26 and 27.
You reduce it to approximately, what, 20%?
13 million.
13. Okay, so
Yes.
let's just go with 13 million. All right. In the 13 million, we use that money to supplement bond debt and what else for the GICC? And we use that money to supplement that hospitality fund. And while she's looking, let me just say this for the record. How I understand is 3 buckets of money in that hospitality fund. One is, come on, I'm gonna do y'all like a no, the 3 buckets of money. Do y'all like I'm teaching now. The 3 buckets of money is what?
There's TPD,
It's TPD, DMO.
and then
We got one, we missed.
our
So DMO, TPD, and what's the other one? Hospitality. Now, one goes to Atlanta Airport Affairs, Mercedes Miller's company, at approximately 2.5 million. That is restricted, that we don't use in any of these numbers, okay?
That's
Correct.
the DMO.
That's the DMO. The TPD was not, is in the HMO. It doesn't have its own dedicated fund, but as of last year, we was not sure what was in the TPD, so we had to do a lot of reconciliations, and we agreed that it was approximately 9 million. Now, I'm hearing numbers way high north of that, but we're not talking about that tonight. And I'm talking about your capital projects for going forward. So with your revenue from your new conferences, with what you're getting from your bed revenue, is that gonna cover these capital projects? The parking lot and the roof, primarily? Those are the 2 capital projects that I wanna confirm for this budget. Is that gonna cover that?
Yes, it should cover it.
Your portion of the hospitality, not the TPD.
TPD is covering a portion of that. TPD is covering the parking lot.
Okay, so here's what I want to say. No, I mean, since we're in a budget meeting, I want to talk about the budget. The hospitality money he gets before TPD is how much, approximately? After you take out the after you take out the DMO 2.5, you said it was about 13 million.
Correct.
All right. The TPD is restricted. It cannot be used but for certain things. That's state law. Assuming the parking lot is an eligible use of the funds. Assuming it is.
It is. There's no assumption in it.
I'm not having a debate. I just want to be able to discuss my point of view because there's 20 individuals in here and they all have a perspective. So I'm just having a budget conversation. Because last I checked, this was public money. So what I want to say is the hospitality budget for that he's getting his portion that's not TPD. That's not. It's approximately 5-point-something million, correct? That's what I was taught. It's approximately
That's correct.
5-point-something million, right?
Yes.
Okay. Your parking lot that you're putting on here is for how much? On this capital, what line item is your parking lot? He didn't put, okay, so I just sum it up, city manager. Since we're talking about a budget, I just want us to have a conversation, especially since prior to this meeting, I'm the one that went out and found this TV mic. I remember it didn't exist. Remember it did not exist. Y'all just remember it did not exist. So now we want to have a conversation about money that all of a sudden now exists. So my point is, can you come back towards the end of our budget session, city manager, and talk to us a little bit about how this hospitality money is gonna be allocated with parity,
Yes.
appropriately?
Sure.
Because
We can do that.
you guys may have other projects that you ain't even thought of yet. You know what I mean? And if you got new conferences, because that's why I set you up for the question. If you got well, he said he got three something $3 million of new conferences, right? You getting $5 million. Now I just want to know if $9 million is sustainable for y'all outside of what you are earning for other revenue. That's city man. You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah, so
That's fair. Is that fair? Is that fair? That's fair. Because so far, for the record, it has paid for you all's projects. So this is a good conversation. Mine's too. Okay.
I'll do Alva.
Our project.
Yeah.
So can you come back?
and we're
with
gonna
the
talk about how the
mayor's
TPD funds are allocated for all of your projects.
right.
and it's his portion of the 5 million plus his additional revenue, or any other enterprise funds that's an eligible use of fund, like car rental tax or whatever. Is that sustainable? Because he needs to be able to have a cap. You don't want to just reach for money saying I got this when there's a plethora of the projects. That's all I'm asking. That's fair?
We all need cash.
That makes sense.
Okay. Thank you.
I had another, in terms of expenses, I don't see it listed here, but I would like for us to look into, Mr. Hicks, even, I kind of mentioned this to Giannis last week. We do a lot of citywide projects out of the GICC. And I think it would be helpful to even put a portion of funding into the GICC for the citywide project, especially since we're going to be looking at reducing the legislative community enhancement. But when we do a citywide project, rather than it coming out of one particular council member's whatever the funding that we're going to have, or like I said, you know how we decide to do some of the projects and we have to always come back and vote. So I would like to look into see what we can do in terms of having some fund at the GICC that is there for citywide projects.
So can you give me a specific, maybe a book bag project that you hold at the GICC? Give me a specific of a citywide project.
Well, we have done the Boys to Men. We've had even this past the Valentine's Day project, Senior Social. We have had I haven't done a book bag, but we have the what's the one that you the Kids Fest.
We got a list
Kids
for that.
Fest, right?
We got a list
Yeah.
for that for events. I remember last year we collected our big events. They weren't all at the convention center, but I know we got that.
But in this budget, just so that you know, it's there are allocations there already. We know that there's certain projects we're just going to do every year, and so looking at how that can just come out of the fund. Yeah. And we do appreciate all that you do for us, Giannis, and you always go beyond the call with your service and your hospitality.
And if, Mr. Hicks, if I may add, the same thing that Councilman Gay asked a few minutes ago, if that can be parity as well, right? Because there is a large event that's coming that will be held at the GICC that's coming out of Clayton County. And so only the GICC can host it.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll make sure we put $1,000 a piece in that.
Oh, you know what? We're gonna make that $1,000 go a long, long way.
I want to see Councilman Gates smile. We'll take it.
Honestly, in general, I know over the last couple of years we've gotten some additional competition in and around town and even statewide. I was at the Cobb Galleria area actually Sunday because I was at something at the Cobb Energy Center, and Cobb Galleria is adding on right now. I saw construction going on out front there, so they're adding on. I'd like to see, I guess y'all watch the trends and whatnot. I know Clayton County, we've got some competition coming from Clayton County. The Savannah editions I guess they're in their second year at this point. I'd just like to see if there's been an increase in, how are they doing in terms of, I'm looking at Cobb. I guess in the 8 or 9 years that Truist has been there, the park and the park complex. I know that's an older convention center. I think it's 30 years old easily. But are they getting, increases due to that, due to the ballpark situation, or I'd like to just see.
But some of their funds do come from the ballpark.
Okay,
So-
okay, but that explains some of that. I just want to make sure with the Clayton County competition and the other options, do they have any amenities that we don't have that might make someone want to select them over us? And can we, keep up with the Joneses, so to speak? You know what I mean?
Honestly speaking, I can't worry about the competition right now. I have to worry about servicing these groups and make sure that these groups are coming back and spending money at GICC. There's a lot of convention center. You got the Civic Center that's coming aboard. You got Columbus Civic Center coming aboard. So there's a lot of competition around, but we concentrate on serving hospitality. And we have something that they don't have, which is the hotels near the convention center, the SkyTrain, the airport, and of course, the hotels.
All right.
So if you want to go to Morrow is building a Fairfield Inn that doesn't compare to a Marriott.
We got to get those 2 other hotels online. They've been waiting on us, so we got to get through the red tape and get those hotels coming out the ground here.
Mayor, City Manager, it's my belief that the funds that we give to the Atlanta Airport District, it used to be, what it used to be called? DMO. It's my belief that some of the services that our city want to offer the public is an eligible use of funds out of that money. It's just my belief. I even talked to the late Vincent Fort, and who sponsored that legislation, and asked him what his thought was, and his thought was, you guys got to figure that out. It was arbitrary. The language was arbitrary. I mean, you'd be told that differently, but all I'm saying is, if it could cover the events that Ms. McKenzie just talked about, or Clayton County events, or Corns events, if it's an eligible use of fund, that's just no need of holding $10 million in revenue every fiscal year.
I agree.
And it's gonna get $2.5 million every year and we over here fighting each other over trying to do right by our public.
Noted, sir.
So
Noted.
that nuclear button they call, who regulate them there? Who regulate the DMO?
Department of Community Affairs.
Department of Community Affairs.
And it's made wide with some ambiguity for a reason, so it can be interpreted.
Yeah.
Up to a certain point.
Sure.
So it's going to depend on a particular board's interpretation of what they feel is qualifies or not. But there's some wiggle room. It's not a huge amount of wiggle room, but it's some.
I don't know.
It's dependent.
I read
on
some
some of
studies
it
during
is-
COVID that cities were reimagining their DMOs. That they were paying for welcome centers. They were paying for a lot of museums. They were reimagining it, and it was an eligible use. I think it may be time that we have a workshop or a retreat or bring them down here, let us talk to us and look at other best practice, or even do a study. Because that's money we could use. If it's just, and they get to roll theirs over. We don't.
Right. Use it or lose it.
Yeah, lose it. Hey, yeah. Can we? And I'm not trying to beat up on nobody's budget.
True. I understand. So the language I got is look into distribution of DMO funds for other services.
Qualified.
Yeah. Eligible city services.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Any other questions on page 2? Moving to page 3. And page 4.
Giannis, we still send out for for like our linen and stuff like that, right?
Yes.
We get a service for that. Okay. I mean, that's we've been going with the same company all these years, or is it been?
That company have changed names 3 times, but yes.
Okay. I was just curious about that.
Questions on page 1 of the budget transaction report? Page 2?
Okay, so and again, your roof is covered in that big number, right? In here?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Page 3?
And chiller,
And the
And
chiller.
chiller.
Okay, yeah, right.
both of them are covered.
Don't forget about that.
Yes. Remember, we forgot about the chiller, but we're supposed to add that back in.
Cause that rental is due up, right? Is that lease up?
It's supposed to be at the end of May.
So
How much is the chiller?
now's a
gonna
good time to talk about that because the chillers that we have now are borrowed chillers that we're
Right.
paying.
So, Chiller 1 and Chiller 2 both are down. The one that we have out there now is a rental. That rental is servicing Chiller 1 to help get it going. Chiller 2 is completely shot. So if we take away that rental, we will not have any AC at the convention center, period. Because Chiller 1 and Chiller 2 kind of works hand in hand in order for the pump to work. So getting a new chiller would help Chiller 1 keep going or keep repairing it until we can get Chiller 1 replaced. So it works hand in hand, but we need both chillers.
Okay,
How much is it
Chiller is $850
for one?
for one.
I'm sorry, say it again.
Second one is 1.2.
One is more than the other?
Yes.
One is bigger? And we're paying for the smaller one?
Yes.
Okay, so we actually need 2 chillers, not one.
Yes.
Okay.
Which is
wait,
$2 million.
Let me ask you this, when the chiller went down and we had to get the rental out there, was one chiller already down or did both of them go down at the same time?
One chiller was on its last leg. So when the Chiller 1 went down, Chiller 2 went down also
Because of the pump?
because of the pumps.
But the one that was on its last leg, is that the one we're replacing? Or
That's the one that need to be replaced, yes.
and number 2, it's which one's on its last
Number
leg?
2 needs to be replaced.
Okay.
Number 1 is working off the rental chiller that we have now.
But when we take that off, it'll be back on its
Number
last
2
leg.
is the bigger chiller.
Okay. Okay. But so in this budget, we're replacing number 1, the smaller chiller.
For the 1.2, yes, that would be the bigger chiller. If we replace Chiller 1, that would be the 850.
And so which one is in this budget again?
The 1.2.
The 1.2, the bigger one.
And we need to add the 8
We need to add
into
the
this
8.
budget.
I
Right,
agree.
Okay,
and
so-
that's
so-
what
so
you and
we
I
need to
had a
add the 8.
discussion about.
Yes.
Okay, that is just in terms
Where is
of well, it's not in the budget. The other ones. I guess
No,
it's-
I'm saying, where is either one of them?
I mean, they just add them as we talk right now.
No, he said one of them is in the budget. I thought that's what I heard.
He did say that.
If not, we're gonna have to get Michael Jackson to come in here. This is chillers.
Well, really, seriously, where is
I don't think it's in it, because that would be a capital expense.
It should be in the capital.
What line?
But all the that's a something 7,700.
Let's see, where's the chiller at?
It got left off.
Okay, it got left off.
We sent it in.
We sent it in, but it got left off at the last meeting. And then we resent it in, and it still got left off.
The one chiller.
Yes.
Yes.
There are no chillers in here.
Yes, there is a chiller in this budget.
Okay.
One.
Okay, where is that at?
Okay, it's coming out of that 1.2. The 800,000 is the one that we didn't add. One chiller is supposed to come out of this budget.
What line?
Yeah.
Where's it at?
I see roof replacement, landscape,
It should be in 7,700.
But it's not.
700.
Nope.
Because I thought sure we put the funding in this budget for one chiller
We talked about that.
talked about it, but it's not there.
Let's see, roof replacement.
Cynthia, I thought we put-
landscaping.
Okay, we did agree to do that, but that was after we'd already done these reports. So we're gonna have to modify that and add that chiller in. But I want to be clear on one thing, that the one for 800,000, I thought we agreed we would buy that out of the current year's budget.
Okay, you remember that too? Okay.
Yes, so I'm confused when we say we need two, because we indicated that when we met, we would do one in the current fiscal year, and then we would modify the budget to add the second one.
So, again, that money has to be rolled over because we're unable to get it done in this year's budget.
You can't order it this year before?
We order it, but it won't be here in time to end this year's budget.
Okay,
Can it be
well,
encumbered?
In
That's
theory,
what I'm
can
saying.
you?
You just
can order it?
Encumber the
You order it, you
Encumber it.
encumber it, it comes from this
Yeah.
year, yeah.
But we can pay for it before July 1st.
Well, just get it encumbered once you do the
If we
contract.
pay for it, we're good in this, with this budget's money.
Yeah.
So that's what we're gonna do?
So just get the contract and
Okay,
get
so
the
that's coming out
set
of
up.
this year's.
Yes.
And then the
And then
second
to
one.
modify it for the other one.
Okay, okay. And a lot of times when we don't add something, some finance, they'll bring an additional page for this one, just with that added on there or whatever. We've gotten those sometimes.
You know, and one of the things I asked Giannis for is what we call a life cycle management. In other words, let's look at the life cycle of this critical equipment. How often is it serviced?
Yeah.
So that we'll know, you know, this chiller been in circulation, what, 20 years?
23 years.
23 years. So, I mean, it has outlived the life cycle, so it should have been replaced way before now. So I'm asking him that once we get this new equipment in, we gotta set up what we call a system development life cycle. So we know when it's getting maintenance, we know when it's time to replace it, so we don't have to come here a few years from now and give out another almost $2 million for the chiller or the roof.
Councilmember?
City manager, I just want you and the finance team to do towards the end of the budget is to look at all of these capital projects and just make sure that the debt service is appropriate in line with all other projects. We just can't, it's more than we can't exist without the convention center, but it's more to College Park than the convention center. We've got a lot of other projects. So just, I mean, it used to be a time, I know we voted for unanimous votes, but it used to be a time that I worked here that some of these capital projects were taken through a bond or a lease. We didn't just take principal money and pay for these projects. I mean, we don't even do that in our everyday lives. I mean, none of y'all just take your principal and just go buy stuff. If you could lease it, if you could leverage it other ways. So just, if y'all could just
Well, we'll
look
take a look at that.
and because everything can't come out of TPD. You got other revenue streams.
I understand.
You know, he might need to do naming rights. He might need to get over there with the airport and get some of the $3 billion. I mean, we just got to start being a little bit more creative in
So we know
debt
that.
service.
I'm glad you brought up naming rights, because it was a time that we were working on naming rights for the arena. I don't know what happened with that, but that may be another thing for us to look. That was before you were in your seat.
Right. Yes, that was like 3 companies that was interested in the naming rights, and somehow they fell. But we are trying to pick that back up now.
And we
So-
look at the GICC for naming rights too.
Well,
still as well.
if you remember, they was trying to piggyback off both of them because one company only wanted the arena.
Yeah, I remember
So
that.
they was trying to put GICC in there too, and that's just not what they wanted.
Yeah, let's see if we get some more bites. You know, we're gonna be freshening up and fixing up over there. And, it's gonna be a whole lot more attractive, probably.
So in regard to the additional 1.2 million, Ms. Hammond, would we expect an increase in that on line 391228 for that we would have and that's on page 1 of 4, and my apologies, but that we would expect more transfers in from the hospitality fund as a result? Or where would the 1.2 million come from, I guess is.
That we're gonna have to look at and really dig deep to figure out, because we reduced the transfer in to accommodate the reduction in hospitality funds. So we would have to really look and see where we can take that money from.
And so we may have some good news at the end of this budget once we put the numbers together. We may have some good news in terms of funding.
And I understand, I'm glad that you did reduce it, but I still believe that we're not gonna see a drastic decrease in rooms, like.
I mean, we've heard that people say they're not coming to the United States. They're not gonna fill up our hotels because of ICE and some other things.
Yeah,
So
to the
we just
capacity
don't-
that we expected, but again, if we're looking at what you did last year, we were expecting a major increase this year over last year. And we may just find that we end up, we gotta make it through the summer months. We might find that the numbers stay the same. What we were anticipating was this.
Yeah, I mean, if the numbers stay the same, we would love that. We just don't want to decrease.
I'm hoping the numbers stay the same and not decrease from the expectation, but not decrease from last year.
Yeah. Amen.
I mean, Giannis, very quickly here, what are you hearing about the hotels?
The hotels will not be up to 100%. Right now, the trend is 45%.
45%?
Yes,
When FIFA's here.
when FIFA is here.
Okay.
All right, so we've just kind of bounced around this budget, but sorry about that. In the budget transaction report, just take some time and go through that if you have questions on the transaction report as a whole. And if you do have those questions, just go ahead and note the page number.
Giannis, we also talked about IT equipment replacements. It's in this budget, correct?
Robert, we did put it in this budget.
Yes, I did put it in the budget. 5730 and 7121.
I saw for 40,000 new computers look like on one of these line items. I guess that might be part of it. Okay.
Giannis, since IT spoke, where are you with repairing the sign on the LED board on Camp Creek? I would have thought we'd have did that one first and the interior boards last.
Yeah, so that the equipment is taking some time to get here. They're projecting between June 15th and July 15th for all equipment to be on site. They just issued the display architectural drawings for me to sign off on. But I sent it back because there needed to be a correction on it with the basil. But they're currently working on that, and we should have that signed off.
We went the same provider from the last boards. We used the same providers from the last board.
That is correct.
And those were the ones that had the foreign, it wasn't in USA, right? You did overseas. And the company that we talked about, they couldn't help us, the ones that manufactured here that could have retrofitted it?
Yes, the way that they wanted to proceed with the project, they did not want to submit any plans based on what was in the RFP. They basically just wanted me to just give them the project. And that became an issue. So they just wasn't willing to submit any paperwork. They didn't want to submit a performance bond as well.
Okay, never mind. Forget about that. All right.
Yeah, they just wanted, just come out and do it, and charge whatever.
All right.
Okay. Questions on the org chart or the supporting documentation? Okay, on to the Gateway Center Arena. Questions on page 1?
Giannis, I do want to say in terms of, I know we're on page 1, but in terms of the organization, the org chart, you got a fantastic organization, an amazing group of people. It's always get great reports from people that are at our GICC Gateway Arena. It's just, we exceed the expectations, and that's because of your team, and you're doing great work. Thank you.
Thank you.
And here's another thing. Yeah, great job over there. I don't think we're getting the mileage on that. I mean, this year and last year, we're number 5 in the world for convention centers. I haven't seen anything in the major papers. That should be big news and a big deal. Last year, we're the number 1 arena for our size for the NBA, right?
Yes.
Number 1. Again, I don't see any. That's number 1 in the country. And both of those things are huge. I mean, you know, Atlanta boasts and brags, you know, hey, we're number 1 again with passengers. And it's in every paper, it's in every cover, you know, that coverage. We've got those great stats. We bested the World Congress Center. We've bested Savannah's Conference Center. We've bested every arena in the country for satisfaction, service, security, all of that stuff. So we got to start to toot our own horns a little bit because, you know, maybe that brings in a new customer. I know I sure would be interested if, hey, I'm renting out the top 5, the 5th best arena in the world. That makes a difference. But if people don't know it, you know, so if we're doing good and we're number 1 in the country, we darn sure better let somebody know about it.
And to Councilmember Cohen's point, that goes back to the DMO. I mean, they ain't got money for it, they ain't too long horn.
And communications. It's
Right, I was just getting ready to ask the same thing about the DMO and our communications
big
plans, our
deal.
communication strategy,
Yes.
right? We, because that is what's going to cover us telling those stories, those good news stories, and getting the word out about why people should come to College Park.
So we've got a triangle of efforts. One is from the DMO, one is from Giannis' marketing team, and then from our communications team.
Yeah. And
So we hear you all loud and clear about the efforts of the DMO. So we'll look closer.
Yeah,
Making sure we're marketing.
I'm sorry. Sorry for cutting you off. I had made a note because I was going to talk to Giannis afterwards, but I think that when we look at the reduction that we're having based on, you know, with the FIFA, the rooms for FIFA, it still presents us with an opportunity to book the GICC Gateway Arena for other events during this time.
Yes.
And so whereas there may have been groups that could not get in because we thought the rooms would not be available, through marketing, I know it's kind of late in the evening, but we do still have an opportunity to start because there are going to be lots of parties, lots of events, people looking for things. I've had folks reach out to me, always do, not just for FIFA, but wanting to do things in College Park during this time because we're still by the airport and we're so accessible to get to where the games are going to be played. So I think we still have an opportunity here by marketing what we have. Sometimes people don't realize what we have, and that's where the DMO marketing and our comms team comes in. And then us all just tooting our own horn, right? If you don't have anything good to say about your stuff, ain't nobody else gonna want to listen about it either.
Do you get money from the DMO for marketing or advertising?
Some funds.
Okay.
It depends on which group they bring in.
It's a generous portion, though.
But the GICC gets money for
Right.
advertising.
Yes.
Yeah, but I'm asking about,
Very.
it's a generous portion that you get. Is it enough? Is the operative word?
It could be more.
Okay.
It's a big
Why don't
deal.
y'all look into it, city manager? Yes, sir. And kind of bring it back.
Yeah, because again, the DMO name has been reigning supreme at this meeting, so I made some notes.
Bring it back.
And we're number 2 in the U.S. We're number 5 in the world, but we're number 2 in the U.S. Second to Vegas. I mean that's a big deal. I mean, you got all of these huge convention centers that are much larger than us, and we're holding our own. This is why, but we haven't had an overhaul in 23 years. I guess we're in that process now. Lord knows we need it. I think we've earned it, but we gotta take it up a notch with the advertisement and the communication. So. Yeah.
So I do have a question for the arena on page 134, 5160.
Page 1.
Yes, of the arena. The 34, 5160, the electrical rental. Looks like way beyond expectations this year, which is great. But you're setting your expectation at $10,000? Why is that?
Because part of that electrical rental is supposed to go toward ticketing. So part of it is in the wrong account.
I see. So
And
ticket sales
second of all, we're charging electrical now where it used to be inside the room rental. We're charging it now, so it's not included in the room rental anymore.
So would we expect more than $10,000?
It should be more than 10, yes.
Okay. So, and of that 247,590, some of that should be going to ticket sales on line 34,
Some of it should be in
5125?
ticket sales, yes.
Okay. Do we have a sense of how much of that?
We're actually looking at that right now. We just got the report back. So what's supposed to be in ticketing sales, we're looking at it right now.
And let's be generous once we get the notes back. Okay.
Yeah, because if that's the case, then the ticket sales, the projection for 2027 is 200,000, but that might be a little low if we're looking at some of that 247,590 in electrical rental being attributed to ticket sales. Does that make sense?
You're correct. And part of it is part of the contracts that were set up for the Atlanta Dream.
I see.
So don't want to go into that right now.
Okay. Additional questions on page 1? Moving to page 2.
If we could look at 52,600, the advertising expense. To be honest, that's where your team does a lot of advertising for the arena, correct?
Yes.
All right. 52,600.
Yes, sir.
Look at 52,600. We
On page
got
2.
We got a lot of projects that's coming up in May and June.
I see.
That's going to support that.
So you'll get closer to that 30,000
You
number?
asked about
Yes.
advertising.
Okay. I'm looking for 6,000. Okay, I see it. There it is. Okay, I got it. All right.
Moving on to page 3.
I do have a question.
Oh, okay.
7640, 54, 7640, page 3 or 4. You went, boy, you have really jumped some numbers tonight. You went from 71, wait a minute, you actually got 71,000 at 50%, and we're 2 months away from the new budget, and you got 1,602,000. Without looking at the transaction report, can you elaborate why you haven't spent but 50% and then how you justified
Which number is that?
It's 547640.
Because next year, we got to get the basketball goals replaced. We got to get the lighting upgrade replaced, and this is required by the NBA. So a lot of that is going to come from the equipment that we got to get.
Come get having a fit over there. But look, we gotta get it replaced.
I mean, some of this stuff is already NBA regulated, but then when they upgrade, we have to upgrade.
But you know, it's the same thing with Conrad. I mean, we enter into these agreements, and we got new administrations, and nobody know who signed what. I mean, didn't you say that we were upside down in our lease with them, with the Skyhawks, and we were even thinking that they didn't even have to come back? And so now, is this to entice them? I mean,
Majestic or majestically numbered.
dog. So I guess what I'm asking, I can't talk about that. I can't.
Yeah, that may be some litigation there. I would. We talk about it after.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough.
Oh no,
Fair
we
enough.
can't do that.
So how often do we have to replace the basketball goals?
Basketball goes every 5 years.
Okay.
The floor is every 6 years. So we're running into that period.
Okay.
Can you donate the goals to groups?
Well, I'm working with Billy Holt, and what he does is see how much we can sell those for, and then he sell it to help offset some of these prices. Billy Holt, he works with all the NCAA.
Okay. I mean, they can't be used at
Right.
Conley or nothing.
Yeah, could we use them,
They're not the same.
you know, at maybe Brady or the outdoor court at Ward 4?
No, even Tracy Wide. I mean,
Or Tracy Wide, yeah. We got 2 gyms at Ward 3.
We're talking nice goals.
They're not the same. Our goals it's a different kind of goal.
Yeah, we have the Spalding
But
Renegade.
they're
so-
portable, right?
No.
These are not the ones that you push out on the floor.
Oh, no.
Our gym floor, they hang from the ceiling.
No,
No, I mean, at the
no,
arena.
you have to use a forklift to
Yeah.
put these out.
Yeah, it's
You
a
can't
different
just
thing.
push these.
I think it would be good for you to go ahead with your plan, find out what they're gonna pay for that, and then you can look at what it's cost to replace the ones in our centers.
Okay.
Yeah,
fair enough.
those
Because
are
I'm sure they're gonna give you more than what it's gonna cost for us to replace these. Yeah. Right. That part. You know, I was thinking business now.
Okay.
All right. Additional questions? I think were we on page 2 or page 3? I'm sorry. We're 3. Okay, thank you. All right. Page 4 is the bond principal, bond interest. Any questions there? Okay.
So, Miss Cynthia, if I may, just approximately, what's the balance on the bond? Like, what? Since I mean, because we pay 2.8 million on the bond note, right?
Correct.
That's every year,
Yes.
but it's a 15-year.
I don't know on this particular one. I would have to look at it, and I can send you that information tomorrow.
And this is the refinance of the building, right? Not equipment. This bond debt.
Yes.
It's the building,
Not
right?
refinance, it's finance.
Yeah. It's
It wasn't-
finance.
This was we refinanced.
Did we do?
We refinanced the building 3 times.
With the arena or the convention center?
This is the arena.
I think the
This the
convention
bond debt on the
center.
arena?
I know we refinanced the
No, we don't
convention center.
you're right. I stand corrected.
We have done that one.
Okay, fair enough.
I was
about to say.
That's fair. See, I didn't even know the answer to my own question because this is the arena. It's 30 years.
We filed with COVID, remember we did that.
So this is actually a question for Ms. Hammond, based upon page 4. Looks like for this year, we are running a deficit of about 3 million through March 31st. Is that correct?
Yes.
Which line item?
It is,
Page.
we were on page 4 of the worksheet, yes. So the transfers in on that, where do you anticipate them coming from to balance that?
We have, let's see, GSCC Arena, 2.8 million, scheduled to be transferred from car rental tax.
Okay. And I'm going to repeat what you said because you're not close to your microphone. I just want to make sure that everybody can hear. 2.8 million from car rental?
Correct.
All right.
And 1.5 from hospitality.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions on page 4? Moving on to the transaction report. Questions on page 1? Page 2. Moving on to page 3. Page 4. Page 5. And page 6. Questions on the org chart or supporting documentation?
I do have a final question before we close out this. The security revenue, what line item is that? The GICC and Arena Security.
They're separate. I mean,
They're separate revenues. Are they the same company? The security revenue for either building for.
Yes.
Because I remember on council, that was out publicly, and I know like you got increases in landscaping and furniture and different things. And there's no mention in that piece. Is that something that's still publicly gonna go out? The security it went out,
Yeah.
but I didn't ever hear anything about it. Was there a successful bidder?
Yes.
I didn't know. It's been brought up to us.
Procurement sent it out.
No, has someone been awarded it?
Yes.
Has it come back to council? First I heard of it. Has it come back to council?
It should have.
I don't remember.
I don't think it came back to us.
Maybe it did, but I don't remember.
Because I
I
was,
apologize.
it was suspended, right?
Procurement ended up renewing the CSC contract.
Because we ended up going
Yeah.
into the.
Okay,
Yes.
ending. So we
I
had to-
apologize for that, yes.
okay. All right.
Okay. If there are any additional questions on the arena, we will move on to the golf course. Questions on page 1? Page 2?
Is there a revenue line item for event rentals downstairs? That used to be pretty active in the debt.
38, 1,000. That's on page 1.
Has that increased, stabilized? We use that still?
We still use it, pretty much during the summers when we,
38, 1,000?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Oh, it goes up to 15,000. So you've increased, you still increased.
Now, is that, Madam Mayor and Councilman Khan, is that why Biden's gonna have their retreat
Yes,
at the
Downstairs.
venue that you're talking about
I think we
downstairs?
talked about it. I think we talked about doing it there.
Yeah.
So so you see a revenue projection?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough, that's good. Good news.
I failed to catch this, back on page 1, my apologies. On sales for liquor, it looks like, is that number lagging, that 9818? Or do we need to adjust what those sales might be? Because it looks like you hit 3/4 of 20 grand in 25. If that number isn't lagging, doesn't look like we'll make it quite there, is that 20,000 realistic?
We're at 11.5 right now.
Yes.
Okay,
As of today.
And Madam Mayor, we're coming out of the fall season, so we get into our season again.
okay, so you would anticipate higher sales for the next 60 days while we're still in this fiscal year?
Also in merchandise too, yeah.
Because we
People are
still got this month and the next 2 months.
I have a question from,
This month's sales hadn't went in yet.
Oh, this month's sales haven't gone in, okay.
I have a question from,
Fiscal year.
from a resident. Is the golf course during this budget needing to consider more funding? Can he elaborate on that?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. We're making constant improvements to the golf course, as far as the greens, the playability of them. They are pretty much outdated. They're your common greens, like your 419, your common grass that's in your front yard. That's what the greens consist of. To make the course more playable for the amateurs or professional golfers that do come out, we're switching to a Tith Eagle, which is a dormant turf, which allows the rounds to go quicker, the pace of play, if you will, to go quicker, and they're more disease tolerant. So we wouldn't have to spend a lot of funds and chemicals as far as treatment of the Tith Eagle replacement grains.
So what are you saying, that you may want to redo the grass?
Yes, sir.
And
Or the
some-
putting green.
Sir?
The putting green.
Oh, and what would that cost? Because I'm hearing rumors that you may need more revenue, and this is that time
Yes,
to
sir.
have that conversation.
I'm in the process of replacing number 5 putting green, but we need 6 more greens replaced. So that number looks like 190,000 to have those replaced. So all 9 holes putting greens
Will be the same.
Well, you asked.
I mean, the historic golf course is actually a jewel for the city. It attracts a real prestigious crowd of professionals. I don't think we even taking advantage of the caliber of people that come to that golf course. And if they're not getting the experience, I just want to know, that's not a big number. Could we look at how we could,
We didn't budget, for an additional 190,000, but,
But you got 45,000 in there.
right. So the finance director and I, we'll look behind the scenes and see what it looks like. But one of the things I wanted to, mention, the resident had brought it to my attention that I don't know if we need to buy a stronger protection net or something, because some of the residents are saying that the golf balls are hitting their cars and breaking windows. And so is the net, the safety net, is that net dated or is it new?
It's dated.
It's dated?
Yeah.
Then let's look and see what it would cost to replace that.
My neighbors would be very happy.
Yeah.
We've been discussing this, right?
So I spoke with Powell and with Chris Wilson. So we're looking at the hole number 1, putting netting there. But over at the Camp Creek side, we're hesitant about putting netting there because there's a fuel line that goes from Houston to the airport. And so it's maybe 8 feet, so as far as digging down 5 feet.
I don't even know that it's
folks
that
have
deep.
just nervous about that.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you're looking at replacing on the whole one, because that's where you have families driving every day up and down that street. So that is our concern. So I'm just glad, just want everybody to hear that. You all hear that?
What he's speaking of, there's a jet fuel line that runs along Camp Creek. And we have to be very careful about digging on Camp Creek. So
Okay. Questions on page 2? You wanted at line 51, 5210? Wanted a position consideration?
yes, we need a building ground superintendent. That would replace James, because we did not replace his position.
So isn't our building grounds helping out with that?
No, sir.
No.
I serve as the superintendent, then I was promoted to the general manager. So for the last 2 years, I've been doing both duties as superintendent and superintendent.
Okay, but the duties are not extremely taxing, right? I mean,
They're
you're,
very fast, yes, sir. Just to give you an example, as far as my ground team, there's only 3 of us, including myself, that take care of 65 acres every week. So, and I have to do chemical applications as well, cutting, and then take that hat off and go have the general managers.
then Giannis, let's take a look at that, finance team and see what we can do.
Yeah, and Giannis, I have a question. I thought we paid Jason Edwards to manage the greens.
We do.
Don't we?
Mm-hmm.
He do the
The chemical
chemicals.
applications, but some applications I can do myself,
And
but we
what,
don't have a sprayer.
he got a sprayer. I see him spraying it.
Yes, sir. He does spray it.
Oh,
We don't have a sprayer. He got a sprayer.
Okay, so we do have someone to help then. Jason Edwards, that used to be a member of the College Park team some years ago.
we pay a nice amount.
Right, so we do have some help.
And what about the guy that cut? He still with us? You know what I'm talking about. He been there for years.
Andy Sanders?
Andy.
Andy, yes, he's there.
He's still there?
Yes.
What we need somebody else? Between him and Jason, not enough?
Well, sir, to be honest with you, the applications that we do every year, I have a schedule.
Let me ask you a question on the way. I'm sorry to interrupt. I understand needing more applications, but to bring in a personnel change, is it that you need more applications, or do you need somebody to take the load off of you all to manage it? Like a building and grounds person is a person that manages it, not more application. That person still got to go out and buy more stuff. So which do you need?
I need a superintendent so where we can reduce Jason Edwards to take care of that part of the spray applications, which will help me in budgetary wise, to save money to go somewhere else.
Let's just note it. We'll make a note.
Page 2? We're still on 2? I'm sorry. Okay, thank you. Page 3. Moving on to the transaction report, page 1. Any questions? Page 2. Page 3. Anything on page 4? Moving to the org chart and supporting documentation. Any questions on those? All right, thank you, Mr. Garner. Appreciate your
Thank you.
time. Appreciate you and your team.
Thank you for everything.
Okay.
All right, good night. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it. Alrighty, so we're moving on to the hospitality fund. Ms. Hammond, are you heading this up if there are questions or? Okay. Oh, okay. All right, great. So questions on the hospitality fund, page 1.
Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
this is where we were talking about reducing the revenue to 13 mil. When we did this, we kept it flat, but we're thinking that we need to reduce this.
Reduce the millage rate?
No.
Reduce the revenue projection.
It's in millions. Millions, I'm sorry.
That reduction is based on what? What assumption?
The assumption that currently we have a 6% reduction in the number of heads and beds.
But the reports we're getting out of, I mean, I just had a luncheon that we good, we full, we don't got no reduction.
No, Councilman Gay, Giannis just said that where the projection is 40%.
Is that what the airport, is that what Mercedes
Yeah.
reported?
Everybody's saying we're gonna be lower this year. That's across the country during the.
So what percentage of the
6 to
decrease in
7%
meals?
down.
When we had COVID, Mayor, it couldn't have been worse than that, and our revenue didn't drop that much during COVID.
50%.
No, it dropped
no,
far worse than that, Roger.
It dropped a lot.
50%.
So COVID, it reduced 50%.
It dropped
Yeah.
way worse than that.
We were having-
And I mean, my whole point still is that
But we're not.
it's
nowhere
a
near that.
reduction on what the expectation for this great event that was supposed to bring 400 million or whatever dollars plus to Atlanta. But we don't know how much of reduction that's going to be over last year. What I'd like to know is what the numbers were. It's a little late because Giannis, is not here to answer. But what was our rate for occupancy in 2025? Because that's what we should be looking at. It may still stay the same. It's just that whereas we might have been looking at 19 million this year, for next year, we may still stay at 16 million if it's what it was last year. But I think it's wise to do what you did.
He can get that for us.
I think it's better to err on the side of caution. So I like the fact that you did this because we can always come back and do a budget amendment. But I'm believing this.
So questions on page 1?
And this is where we want to have the DMO conversation too, if you look at the dollar amount.
Is it the 2,437,000?
Yes, sir.
27?
Yes.
So assuming that could possibly be an eligible use of funds for some of the
Yeah.
services activities, we
Yes.
could potentially look at.
And let's look at the detail and see what's spent now under 4101.
And keep in mind, y'all, we have 3 hotel projects right now in the pipelines that have been slowed down a little bit too much, in my opinion, because I've been following them. They're all in Ward 2, and they're all complaining that our processes are not making it where they could break ground. We need that hotel motel tax. We need that mixed drink tax, and we need to get those projects moving forward for more room nights and more revenues. So we really need to accommodate and expedite the money-making businesses coming into the city here, and they've been slowed down for 2 years now, some of them.
What are some of the challenges?
You already know. You're talking executive session.
Oh, okay, all right.
But you already know.
I have a question. Miss Cynthia,
Yes, sir.
the numbers in 2027, these are annual revenues. So the balance isn't carried forward in this report, right? The balance is not carried forward in this report,
Revenue balances are not carried forward.
in this report.
Isn't
Any
it
report.
39,900?
That is reserve funds.
Okay, what I'm saying is,
Right.
aren't some of the, like for example, just look at the DMO. The balance isn't carried forward. We're just looking at their annual revenue in this budget.
That is correct.
All right, that's fine.
Yes.
That's fine.
Because at the end of the fiscal year, everything gets closed out, all the revenue and expenses, and the difference is what is going to hit our fund equity. So once it can be an increase or decrease in our fund equity, which will determine the amount of our reserves.
So, City Manager Hicks, when there are conversations about entities, TPD, DMO, I think looking at the fund balance needs to be part of your conversation to get a full picture. Okay?
Okay.
That's not a conversation for tonight.
Understood.
I do have a question on 4101 and 314102. In 2026, when this budget was amended, it looks like the DMO number went to 2.4 and change, but why did TPD go to 766? Shouldn't that have been, shouldn't whatever the DMO gets, TPT should get the same amount?
Originally, when the budget was done, the rates were not correct. And so when we started paying, we paid by the rate that it should have been, which is, I think, 18.75% for each one. And then the remainder went to the general fund.
And that goes back to what you were saying, Councilman Gay. It seems like the money that was going to TPD was not, we were not getting the right amount in
Absolutely.
TPD.
That's correct.
And that's when you did the research, we were able to get that straightened out, rectified. Okay.
Yeah, I think it
All
was
right.
6% and it went up to 18.75.
Okay.
We had the allocation incorrect.
On that note, how far back, accounting speaking, do we need to go back?
To rectify.
Do we need to go back to when it first got
Money we don't have.
established?
They did. They did.
That was it.
So that's how we came up with
That's
the
why it
number
was
we
such a
have.
big jump.
Right. And then, we still have the transfer of funds, cash transfer that needs to take place because general fund received too much money. So my suggestion was instead of us taking a hit all at once, we would pay back a portion each month until it was paid in full.
And one other thing I would say, just for purposes of budget, my recommendation is what I'm hearing is that we should not put DMO and TPD in the hotel motel. It should all have its own separate. Well, but I'm hearing other experts saying it's just the opposite. That I'm just saying when I'm on my messenger. I'm hearing putting them all in one fund makes our accounting skewed. We can't really understand that. I'm hearing it from the previous
Based on-
auditors. I'm hearing it from the previous finance director who actually set up the framework. for this.
That's not true. DCA tells you how you have to spend, how you have to set this money up within the fund. And it's laid out, which ours is a little bit different because we had, I guess, some ordinance that actually changed the way that we actually allocate our funds.
I'm aware of that.
Yes,
It's a little bit more even.
But we can't separate and put them in separate funds. I think we're doing a good job now of making sure that what's supposed to be in TPD is accurately tracked. And I'm comfortable with where we are with that process. But I will tell you, coming in and having not seen it set up the way it was challenging because, you know, in my previous jobs, it was something we did every month. And so we made sure that those dollars were where they were supposed to be.
Well, I do know, I've had conversations with the last auditors who we actually paid to audit our books. And there is a conversation that we need to do more in trying to understand what these balances really are. And so maybe later on in the budget year, we can start having that conversation because that's different opinions. And, you know, everybody want a good checkbook balance.
Yeah, we like to have some type of balance at all.
Ms. Hammond, I'm sorry. I apologize.
You're good. But man, before you do, I do want to commend you because you have came and rescued and made a turnaround and found funding. So I must commend you, and then Michael Hicks taking up his helm. So I must commend y'all in the direction we're going.
Yeah.
But no, man, I'm sorry.
Oh, Ms. Hammond, you indicated that the general fund had been overpaid?
Yes.
To what extent?
$8 million.
Yeah, that was last year. Yeah.
That was over the period of 2019 up until last February of 2025.
Move through that.
And believe me, I argued that point for a while before we had to move that money back.
So that'll come from fund reserves?
Yes.
Mr. Hicks, I think I missed the opportunity to ask the this question, so I may be out of order. The senior tax exemption, did you express that anywhere in a reduction in revenue?
That's in the general fund.
I mean, where was it stated in the budget process? Did I miss it? Did I not come?
No, it's tomorrow.
It's tomorrow.
Yes,
I'm ahead of myself. Okay.
it's tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have about 24 hours. We will talk about it. All right.
Okay.
Any questions on page 2? Moving on to the transaction report. Questions on either one of those pages?
So just the questions based on going back to page 1. So when we look at this 16 million, we really should be looking at 13 million. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, so that means everything is going to be these numbers are going to be different in the
Yes.
actual budget
Yes.
they're carrying forward. Okay.
Any questions on the supporting documentation before we move on to the car rental tax fund? All right, car rental tax fund, questions on page 1? Or the budget transaction report for that matter.
So line item 311301, this is what we expect to receive, and this is not a reduction, of course, right? This money is not reduced, correct?
Correct. It's a fixed cost because it's through an intergovernmental agreement that we have with the City of Atlanta and the Fulton County Recreation Authority.
Okay.
That we're guaranteed the 3.6 million annually, 3.2, and then 2 transfers of 200,000 each. And then if there's excess funds, excess collections from the car rental tax, then we get a further distribution.
And what do we agree legally with the eligible uses of this money?
That I don't.
Because I was there when we negotiated with, Joe was there when we negotiated with Mayor Reed and all those people. Where does this money go? To debt service where?
Well, it's part of our operating transfers. Let's see, car
Debt service on
rental.
the arena, and then
Some of it goes to the arena, some goes to the general fund. Let's see here. No.
But the majority of it goes for the debt service on the arena, right?
2.8.
Correct.
2.875. And so I got to have a conversation, but I don't want to get. So maybe this is a good time to ask. So there is a it might be litigation too, Joe. It might be
I
litigation
don't know
too.
what are you about to say now?
Well, we were meeting about, everybody read what the airport just did of what, 500 million, a 500 million bond on the SkyTrain. Was it 200 or 500? And then the 500 million bond debt, and then the train from the gates to Conrad was 200 million, right?
I knew the overall project.
I think it's
I'm
5
sorry.
plus 2. So the point I'm making is, last I heard, we were asked to go in on the new bond debt of 200 million. You can get with walls on these numbers. So I guess what I'm asking is, we're supposed to be, I think Winston Denmark office is supposed
It's
to be
litigation.
talking
probably.
about not doing it. So my question,
That's in litigation, right?
well, even if it's in litigation, I want to talk about this money. Where do we talk about this here if that debt is reasonable and required? I mean, what did that do to our budget? That's a considerable amount of debt in this number. And it's based on what you just said. It's based on an intergovernmental agreement. But I was told that we weren't auditing or understanding the revenue sharing is incorrect.
That's what we're in litigation of. That's the whole point of the litigation. That's what we're in the middle of litigation about, but we shouldn't be talking about that in the public meeting, though. But that's what we're working on with Winston and Ed and everybody else to get it fixed.
So where is it at from a budget point of view? If it's a $1, where is it at in the budget? Where's the bond debt that we have to pay? The whole thing is that litigation. It's a matter of how much is in litigation. But there is an amount that we pay now, right?
are you talking for like the APM?
Yeah.
Are you asking where the line item is when we're paying for the APM, the people mover?
Yeah, where's the line item?
That's in the BIDA budget.
Sir?
That's in the Business Development Authority budget.
Okay, so out of this revenue that you projected for $3,600,000, out of that revenue, you just said it goes to the general fund, and you said hotel.
In the arena.
Okay, but none of this goes to bond debt.
No.
And if we were to get if we are obligated to be on the bond debt, then we have to have a conversation about where we're gonna get this money from, since we've already expensed it for 2 other items. Is that correct? Since we're already using it for the general fund, and if we have to do more bond debt,
We got to determine where that money's going to come from.
that's all I'm asking. And what's the litigation is how much we supposed to be getting. Is that what you're saying?
Well, it's the amount, it's in dispute, yeah.
Two amounts, there's an amount that we're thinking, there's an amount. That's something we need.
Well, City Manager, respectfully, I'm hearing that those talks are going nowhere, that has been paused. So I'm talking now. I would like for us to make that a priority, because that's a considerable amount of debt that we need to start having those conversations in the executive session about where we are with that.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
Let's do it behind closed doors.
yeah, because I do know that Winston team is still working on that, because I think Marshall,
I'm hearing that it's,
Okay,
that
okay.
we need to have more conversations that you should bring back here even before we ratify this budget. This 3 hearings, 3 public hearings? Two. I think we should have a conversation even before we ratify this budget.
Okay, I got a question. I apologize that I did not pick this up because I didn't see it earlier. In the hospitality fund, line
What
two,
page?
on budget transaction report, page 2 of 2. And actually, I caught it just now because I was looking at TPD approved action items. 7655, the College Park Historical Preservation Conservancy has a contract for $250,000, not $150,000. The Price Barbershop, I think we have used, this is my question. So what happens with TPD funds? Because we have used, I think we've used some of the 1.16 million. So it's showing again 1.16 million for the barbershop. So how is that, what's going on with that?
Okay, at the time, we hadn't used any of it.
Okay,
So those numbers will be reflective of what has actually happened through the end of the fiscal, well, not through the end of the fiscal year, through probably May 15th.
Okay.
When we actually put our final numbers together.
so it'll be less, but the number, the 13 million, I need that number to go back. I need what we are in contractual agreement with for the historical conservancy
I think
to remain at the number that the contract is for.
I think we've already paid that, so.
It's a renewable contract for next year, so the money needs to stay in that
I
fund.
gotcha. Okay.
So I did,
So we
10
need
years.
to make that 200,000.
250,000.
but here we've designated 150,000. Where am I missing 100,000 from?
50,000.
I'm sorry?
It should be
250,000
and not 100.
Right, she says 250, so we're missing 100,000.
100,000.
Where am I missing 100,000 from for the College Park Historical Preservation? Right now, it's budgeted for 150.
And it should be 250,
So
based on the contract.
the contract was 250.
I mean, right now, we do have a contract for that renews in 2027. So we're finishing that contract out. That contract, the 2026 contract has been finished, and now we are in the renewable.
And that amount is 250.
250.
Okay, so
How do we miss having 150 budgeted and we did a contract for 250?
we didn't see the contract.
And nobody asked me.
Well,
Councilmember, can you get
There's a department that has those contracts. And I'm assuming they're
Right,
supposed to-
right. So we just need to get that in the system so we know. Yeah.
It shouldn't have to come from you.
And again, I see where it's gonna be okay because Price Barbershop, we have spent some of that money, so the money is still in the TPD fund. But I just wanna make sure that we're allocating it for the right. So you're not gonna need 1.16 million
So let's
for
take the
Price
100,000
Barbershop.
from the Price Barbershop and
Yes,
move it to
exactly.
the Conservancy.
We will.
Yeah, yes, it's there, the funds are there, I just wanna make sure we don't go into approving a budget that goes against what our contractual agreement.
Also, just for clarity on this, no money issue, the third line here, GICC building, that 2.5 TP is divvied up amongst GICC building, Camp Creek improvements, and the park on Gabi, just FYI, I think that's all bundled in there, but I just wanna make sure that that's not misunderstood, it's just going into the building, GICC. Split 3 ways, so. that on that.
Okay,
But you got the detail on that. So
Okay.
all right.
I don't want Giannis to think he's getting all of that.
Anything else for the car rental tax fund? All right, that concludes the budget conversations.
Thank you all.
We'll let the finance department leave and then we'll have it.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.
That's right, same place, same time.
Bad channel.
That's right.
We're still going. We're still going.
Once we get into executive session, we'll turn these off, right?
Right, but we've still got the
So, we've got an item on the agenda where we can leave the cameras on, but once we go into executive session, we have to turn these off.
Hold on to your budget, brother. Hold on.
Man, I can't do it.
It's slipping. You gotta hold on tight, man.
we are.
Oh,
Oh my God.
Hold on tight.
I think we are. Pretty sure we are. I mean, I think we're still live and everything. Yeah, I mean, but I mean, if ever, I'll hang in here. Okay, go ahead, go the rest of the praise. Yeah. All right, our next item is in regard to the Zup Park Playground. Mr. Hicks?
Yes, so at the meeting on Monday, you all asked me to bring back the data for the Zup Park Playground. And so I got a chance to collaborate with our Director of Recreation and our purchasing person. So I just want to read some documents here. There were actually 3 bids under the Sourcewell contract, which is the state contract. There were Game Time, Great Southern, and Compai. And the process that our purchasing and our recreation department took was on state contract, they looked at 3 companies. And they decided to go with Compan, K-O-M-P-A-N, Compan. But for that amount, $800,000, I talked to our purchasing director today, and he said, Mr. Hicks, why don't we put it out to bid? Why don't we scrap what we've done through the state contract for this amount? Why don't we put it out to bid? And I said, okay, if that's your recommendation, I'll follow your lead. So Councilwoman Arnold, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put it out to bid.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Hicks. Is there a motion to enter into executive session for the purpose of personnel at this time?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous. We'll enter into executive session at this time.